Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Eclectic Knitter Podcast. My name is, of course, Raylene, aka Kamana Knits on Ravelry. You can find show notes for this episode at theeclecticknitter.com. You can find episodes on YouTube, on the blog, or on iTunes. And as far as when I've looked it up, all of the episodes I've done so far have been showing up on iTunes, so it should be good to go, just the last couple. I haven't gone and uploaded all of my old episodes to the blog to upload them to iTunes, but they can all be found on YouTube. So, there you are. It is April 17th, 2017. It was just Easter weekend. I went to Manitoba for the weekend, which I will talk about more. The dog's on the balcony wandering around being a weirdo. And I might have to yell at him at some point if he does something weird. He already ripped. I had a tiger lily last year that stayed out on the balcony over winter, of course, because it's a bulb. And he ripped the bulb out of the soil already, I think. But I don't know if it was going to actually do anything. Because it's just in a little pot, and I don't think the blueberry bush that I had out there has survived the winter either, but that's still debatable. It has been getting cool still at night, and we had a little bit of snow over the weekend, so we'll see. Knitting, I have 2 finished objects, of which I have 0 at home. I finished my sport weight socks out of Lollipop yarn, the beefcake base, in Karma Chameleon. I did contrasting heels and toes. These were the socks that I talked about last time, where I was ripping back, or I ripped out the Fish Lips Kiss heel that I originally did, and I put in an afterthought heel. So I finished the second sock, and they didn't fit me. They did, but they were really tight around the arch, so I gave them to my mom, and she also got the Rockstar Rainbow sock blank socks, and then the Silver Bells socks out of Nomadic Yarns. That was her birthday present. The other 2, I had them all behind my back, and I'm like, happy birthday, and the next one, happy Hanukkah, and the next one, Merry Christmas, and then the 4th one was happy Valentine's Day, and then Mom's like, what about Easter socks? I'm like, fine, these ones are Easter socks then. Whatever. So, but the skew socks that I had knit out of Nomadic Yarns in the Sugared Plums colorway, they didn't fit me. And usually if things don't fit me, they will most often fit my mom, but they didn't fit her either. So, I'll talk about those a little bit later. The other finished object that I finished was the R&R hoodie by Tanis Lavalley, out of Cascade 220 Superwash in colorway 1969. It was a hoodie for my niece. I knit the 4 to 6 year old size, and I knit it on US size 5 and US size 6 needles, and then washed it on Delicate in my mom's washing machine, and then laid it flat to dry. And then my mom hand sewed in the zipper for it. And so that stayed with my niece this weekend. Fits her perfectly. Like the sleeves are a little bit long and the body's a little bit long. But she's quite big for her age. That's why I knit the 4 to 6 size. And she loved the color, and she liked that it has pockets. She's really into pockets right now, so it was like the perfect choice. And I don't even have a picture of that. There is a picture of the finished sport weight socks on my Ravelry project page, but I don't even have a picture of the R&R hoodie. So yeah, that was a big hit. My brother and sister-in-law loved it. So yeah, that was really awesome. Whips. I have a hoe in my Fat Squirrel fiber bag. This is the first of a sock without a heel. This is out of Lollipop Yarns in the traditional base in First World Problems. I am doing contrasting cuffs, toes, and then hopefully heels in the little mini skein, which is this. is the mini skein. Oh, I put everything in this. This was like my project bag and my notions pouch for my trip. So like my scissors are in here and my needles are in here. And this is the ball of yarn. I think I even have the tag for it. Yeah. So the first sock is done, and I have the second sock is this far. These are on US size 0, 2.0 millimeter needles. They are for me, 64 stitches. Hopefully it'll fit. I'm making a concerted effort to knit looser with a size 0. In order for I find that the thinner bases on size 0, like the fingering weight bases is 75-25 that has like 460 yards or whatever. I find that often when I'm doing those on size 0 needles, they end up being a little bit small for me. So I either need to go up in needle size or try to knit looser. Maybe easier to go up in needle size. Or I could knit 72 stitch socks, but then they always end up a little bit big. So not quite sure what I want to do there. The other project that I'm actually going to show, well, actually I have 2 projects that I'll show. The first one, I got another order from Miss Babs. I get them shipped to my parents who live, well, I get them shipped to a parcel service in a small town in North Dakota because my parents live 15 minutes away from it. And then I get free shipping. I don't do that for everything, just a couple things, Miss Bab being one of them. So I picked up a couple skeins of Yowza. This is in a limited wild iris colorway called Exceptional. Looked very different on the website and looks very different caked up as opposed to in the skein. And I don't actually have a picture of it in the skein. It looked a lot more pink, but it's got a lot more other colors, which is fine. So as you can see, I wound this into a cake already last night. And my sister-in-law, my mom saw this skein and said, "Ew, that's ugly." And my sister-in-law, hi Cyrus, saw this skein and went, "Ooh, that's really pretty, but I don't really like the yellow." What are you doing? So I started my first Weigh It shawl out of this. This is Weigh It shawl number 1. I'm doing it on US size 8, despite the pattern calling for US size 9. I weighed the skein to start, and it was 8.4 ounces, which is quite generous. Either way, you knit until a certain weight, and then you do the ruffle and do that until a certain weight, and then you bind off. So I'll probably just do a regular bind off. And my plan for this is I'm going to bring it to Winnipeg after I finish it. I'm going to bring it when I see my sister-in-law next, and I'm going to say, if you like the way this knit up, you can have it. If you do not like the way it knit up, then you don't have to take it. Do not feel obligated. So I just started that last night, and you're increasing 3 stitches on every row, so it grows in diameter quite quickly. The other thing that I wound yarn for and actually cast on, I'm doing a little boxy for my niece. I am using Madeline Tosh BFL sock in Cosmic Wonder Dust. I have 2 skeins of it. It's a speckly, splattery neon rainbow on a cream base. So literally all I did was cast on. I'm doing like the 6-year-old size because I want to make sure it fits for a while. And I'm casting on, I'm just using the needles that are called for in the pattern, which is a 2.5. That's US size 2.5 for the ribbing. So I have not joined in the round or done anything else because I feel like this is a 32 inch and I feel like it's going to be not long enough. And I'm waiting for some interchangeables to to arrive. So I may move those to a 24-inch needle. And that's everything that I'm working on. Well, that's everything that I'm actively working on. I still have the blankets and stuff on the go, but those are kind of long term. And I did do a couple of rows on the sleeve for my sister-in-law's row cardigan, but it just takes a lot out of me because I'm increasing and following the chart. It's a lot to keep track of. And most days I don't feel like keeping track of it. So I'm going to talk about my skew socks. It's these here. They don't fit me. I knit them on a size 0. They don't fit my mom. She couldn't even get the heel over her foot, and I can't even get it like most of the way up my foot, let alone the heel on. So this is one skew sock. I ripped it out, and I'm going to rip out the other one because I don't want this yarn to go to waste. So I'm going to rip them out, and then I'm going to reknit probably just plain vanilla afterthought heel socks and give them to my mom. Just because I can. I enjoy giving socks to my mom. She really appreciates them. So that's those. If I were to try skews again, I would have to do it on a, if they were for me, I'd have to do them on a thicker base on larger needles. Now, I don't know if I mentioned that when I started those sport weight, well, the beefcake base, which is like a heavy fingering sport weight, I had originally started them on a 2.5 US 2.5 needle, and I hadn't liked the fabric, so I went down to a 1.5, and then I did a 56 stitch sock, and they didn't fit me. If I had done them on a 0, 56, well, a 64 on a 0 would have probably been fine. Even if I had done a 64-inch stitch sock on those 1.5s, that probably would have been fine. Even if I had done a 60 stitch sock, it probably would have been fine. But anyway, so skews, I would either have to go up a needle size or I would have to do the sport weight on a larger needle. I don't know if I'll try the pattern again. I wasn't that, I really like vanilla socks because they are mindless. They require 0 thought to them. I really like the afterthought heel sock because I can just knit a tube, put a toe on it, and then I can go back and do the heel when I have a little bit more brain power. But I don't need to stop and do the heel and then constantly measure. I just do them as long as I want. And because I don't like my cuff too tall because my calves get quite wide. So that's kind of how it's been going. I need to knit more of my variegated sock yarn, but I'm knitting up stripes right now, so that's fine. I have a lot of that too. Oh, excuse me. My niece started screaming at 5:30 yesterday morning, so. Video games. I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the PlayStation 4, which is a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's compared a lot to Far Cry. It's very open world. You're using a bow and arrow, and you're killing mechanical dinosaurs. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it does make sense according to the storyline. It's like set way in the future on Earth. So scientific technology and scientific civilization has fallen, and it's a lot more tribal. But the AI that was created in the scientific world they're mechanical dinosaurs, and they're not sentient anymore. So it's very interesting. You're literally using a bow. So for some, you shoot like a fire arrow at a specific part on their body, and then it sets them on fire, and then they explode and, damage everything around them. Or you can do that with some with lightning arrows, and there's like precision arrows, kind of like a sniper. I'm having a lot of fun with it, just sneaking around and killing dinosaurs. So that's been a lot of fun. And then over the weekend, I picked up a game called Project High Rise. And it's like kind of Sim Tower, but updated, and it's a lot of fun. So I've put a lot of hours into that over the weekend. And I'm still playing Pharaoh, which is like an isometric city sim from 1999. It's available on Steam now. But it's been available on Good Old Games for years, and I've had a copy of it for years, and I play it off and on. Like, I play it a lot for a while, and then I don't. And then I play it again, like, obsessively, and then I don't. So in, like, almost 20 years, I've been playing it off and on since it was released, because I had it originally on 3.5-inch floppy disks. So that's a really fun game. That's about all for video games. So my Easter trip, I live in Saskatoon. My parents live in a small town an hour south of Winnipeg. My brother and sister-in-law and my niece live in Winnipeg. So I drove out Thursday, and I left here. I wanted to leave here, leave the city, not leave my apartment, leave the city. By 7:30, and I had to drop Cyrus off at daycare / the kennel for the weekend. So I wanted to be leaving the city by 7:30 due to clients and stuff. I didn't get out of the city until closer to 8. And then I was driving on the number 1. So the route that I take the 11 from Saskatoon to Regina, and then I take the number 1. And the number 1 goes like all across Canada, but I take it until just past Portage La Prairie. There's a highway that comes off of it called the 13, and that goes down through Carmen, and then I go around through Winkler. You can look this all up on a map if you're really interested. But that cuts off. My other option is to take the number 1 all the way to Winnipeg, go down the 75, but then I have to come back west about half an hour in order to get to the town that my parents live. So it saves me almost an hour to take 13 and go through Carmen instead of going around through Winnipeg. I missed my turnoff for the 13 because I was not paying attention. I had stopped in Portage La Prairie at the Canadian Tire to pick up. I brought I bought a little handheld portable steam vac thing to clean my rug from when Cyrus was sick after his neuter, and to clean the back of the car, because I have a seat protector thing that covers the whole back seat. But I didn't have that since I got him, so he had gone on the seats with muddy paws, so I needed to clean that. So I bought this thing. It was on sale at Canadian Tire. And I had brought it with me, but I hadn't brought the cleaning solution for it. So I stopped at this Canadian Tire and picked up cleaning solution, and then I was just driving on the highway, cruise on, listening to music, not paying attention. And by the time I realized I had missed my turnoff, it was the same amount of time to go around to Winnipeg as it was to go down the 13. So while I should have gotten to my parents around 5 or shortly thereafter, I got to my parents at 6, which is what I told them I would be getting there at, but I like to arrive early. So I set a reasonable time in case something like that happens, but I usually arrive early, which I did not this time. So I took the super scenic route, which was fine. So then my brother, sister-in-law, and my niece arrived on Saturday, late afternoon. We had supper. My niece is 2.5, and she hadn't napped or anything that day, so they put her down quite early, and she fell asleep right away. And I got her the Lorax for Christmas, and apparently she loves it. And then they found out there was a Lorax movie, and she loves that, so that's awesome. I spent time with her. They were there all day Saturday, and they were leaving Sunday. I left yesterday morning. I left my parents' place at shortly after 8 Central Standard, and Saskatchewan is currently an hour behind. So I was out of there and drove the whole way home. It doesn't usually feel like a super long drive, but yesterday it felt like a very long drive. I wanted to get home. I had a lot to do when I got home. I had ordered Tupperware from a lady that I know that does Tupperware in Altona, and I had ordered some like just after Christmas. So my parents had gotten it before they left. Like they didn't get it before they came to visit me for my birthday, but they got it before they left for the States for 2 months. So I got that, plus I placed another order because I knew I was going out again, and so I got that. So and then this Miss Babs order came as well. So when I was unpacking my car, I'm sure it looked like I was opening up a Tupperware store in my apartment. Yeah, I had to unpack that stuff and drop a big box off in Value Village, and I had to pick up the dog and pick up food, and like I had this giant list of things I needed to do when I got back into the city. So I got back around 3:15, filled up with gas, did all of my stuff, got back home, I got gas, came home, unpacked the car, got some stuff ready to be mailed, went out, ran errands, picked up the dog, got back here at 5, and then I was home the rest of the evening. But yeah, it was a good trip. I always enjoy spending time with my parents, and my niece is adorable. She's now wanting me to spend time with her and interact with her. So we did puzzles Saturday night for quite a while. And we spent time in the afternoon on Saturday outside. So yeah, it was really good helping her ride her tricycle that my parents bought her for Christmas like 2 years ago. No, like a year ago. Not this last Christmas, the Christmas before they got her this tricycle. And it's just kicked soccer ball around for a while, and she picked up sticks off the ground in my parents' backyard and put them in the trailer because that's where the sticks go. And we played with My Little Ponies a little bit. And I have this little dog. I don't even know where it's from. It's like a plastic dog, and then it's got like the Barbie style hair, that like acrylic nylon plastic fur, but it's like long. It's like the white Yorkshire Terrier or something. And I'm like, oh, this was my dog. And so now she calls it Auntie Ray Ray's dog. So that's all she kept saying. So she's very cute. And I got back, and Cyrus was so happy to see me, and I was so happy to see him. And it was really great to get away, and I'm really glad I took today off. It'll be nice to go back to work tomorrow, and he'll go back to daycare tomorrow and get back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was good, and knitting's been good, and I'm glad that sweater's done, and I need to get this other sweater done so I can feel less like I'm avoiding something. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good couple of weeks. Hopefully I will be able to record again in 2 weeks. I'm not going anywhere for a while, so I don't see a problem with that. And have a great time. Oh, the knitting needles were sold, so those aren't available anymore. And nobody was interested in the book, so that's fine. So yeah, nobody's interested, then that's fine. I figured it was a long shot anyway, because it's not knitting related, right? So that's fine. Not a big deal. It'll go in my bookshelf. I will talk to you guys later.